Rainland here. Today is yet again another build showcase, and it's the Paris Prime Incarnon. Paris Prime Incarnon is still very good. Let me show you the build. So the build, I'm using my Paris Prime Incarnon. I'm using, of course, Longbow Sharp Shot. This is a 300% multiplicative damage when you shoot enemies in the head. This is just amazing to have, and I highly recommend farming for this guy. Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, Galvanized F for stat chance and direct damage percent on target. This is going to help you out a ton with single target DPS and also with clear. We do have Blast with these two. Blast is, as you can see, the highest damage type, and we have a bunch of stat chance, makes it that we can proc more than one blast per shot, 227.1. It's really good. Vital Sense for critical damage, Hammer Shot for critical damage stat chance. You technically can replace that and use Rifle Elementalist for 90% status damage. This is a multiplicative for our damaging elements, and we do have Blast, so our Blast will do a lot more damage, but this is also quite nice, having a higher status chance and also giving you critical damage. Serration for increased damage. We did lose increased damage, we are no longer using Dead Head, because that gives you the additive damage, and this is additive damage. This is a multiplicative, so we have no additive, so we fixed that by adding Serration, which is our additive damage. And Galvanized Scope for critical chance while aiming. We're going to shoot enemies ahead. We have this, we have this. It's a bow, so you're always going to shoot enemies ahead. To get the Incarnon form, you have to shoot enemies in the head. So there's synergy here, and this will make it that you always have orange and red crits. So we fixed the critical chance problem, critical damage problem, massive stat chance, total damage is fixed. If you have a Riven, critical chance, critical damage, multi-shot is by far the best in slot, and you can remove Hammer Shot for it if you have one. Overall, everything here stat-wise is just quite good. This is something I also highly recommend for you to get. This is an exclusive mod for Paris Prime. What it does is when enemies have 3 or more stat effects on them, you get 300 health. So if you are playing a health Warframe, this is quite nice. And not only that, it gives you plus 90% stat chance. This is very good. It's very, very good. That's why you see this massive status chance. So if I were to remove this, as you can see here, I lost a huge chunk of status chance. So this is quite good to have on your Paris Prime. Same thing with the Incarnon form, stats are just quite good. This is something I will highly recommend, is I don't have any fire rate on my bow, and the bow is kind of slow, right? Use a cat or dog or sentinel, and I hope you have this thing here, is when your cat, dog, or sentinel has over 1200 shield, you get 60% fire rate, which fixes your fire rate problems, and it's a kind of a must-have on this style of builds. But if you don't have that mod, or you don't have a sentinel that has that much shield, don't worry about it. You can then remove Hammer Shot and add some kind of fire rate mod. Fire rate, you can add Speed Trigger. This is generally the best one, 9 capacity, and also gives you 60% fire rate, which is identical like the mod that I just showed, the companion mod. So now it's time for me to show you the evolutions. So the evolutions that I'm using on my Paris Prime, the first evolution is shoot enemies ahead to get the Incarnon form. Second evolution, increase your base damage when your shield, when you have overshield, it gives you even more base damage. Third evolution gives you projectile speed. This is amazing to have. And fourth evolution increases your base stat chance by 60. That's why we have so much status chance. This is a heavy status bow, and it really likes a lot of status. Now you're going to spawn a bunch of corrupted heavy gunners. These are Steel Path, level 205. Just to show you. So the base form isn't anything mind-blowing, right? It can kill. We don't have any stacks, we don't have any buffs, and as you can see, the blast procs did kill everything in the 5-meter radius. That's what blast does. Now we have the Incarnon form. To transform this, you press the middle mouse to transform it from the base form to Incarnon form, shoot enemies, and it has infinite body punch through, procs a bunch of status, and it just annihilates these enemies really, really fast. Really, really fast. It's a really good bow. And the best way for me to show you this is in-game. So, let's start. And we are finally in. I'm up against the corrupted enemies, the Void, Steel Path, of course, it's survival, called mod. I'm going to show you this weapon in here. No buffs or armor strip, just raw damage from the weapon itself. I do have a companion which gives me the fire rate and the critical damage from Temptation's Bound. And the clear on this, on the base form, is good, thanks to the blast. A really high base damage. Blast loves high base damage. If you guys know how blast scales, it scales with 30% of the weapon's base damage. And bows do have a really high base damage, so this is just quite good. It's just quite good. And every shot procs blast. It's really good. But once you have the charges, you transform the weapon from base form to Incarnon form by pressing middle mouse. And now your clear is amazing. Infinite body punch through. Look at the clear. Red crits, orange crits, guaranteed blast. You can also add like Nourish to give you a viral. So if something survives a shot, they won't survive the second shot. Use your favorite buffer Warframes or a armor stripper Warframe, whatever. It doesn't even matter which Warframe you use. This thing will have a quite good clear. Look at this clear. Look at this beautiful clear. If you think that blast is unnecessary and you want to overall do more damage and you don't have Nourish, of course you can utilize viral instead. It just blast makes the clear even better. Having a guaranteed blast proc, which blows up in a 5-meter radius, high base damage. You know, I don't need to repeat myself so many times. I'm just trying to make you get this weapon and use it, you know, that type of stuff. That's my job. To force you to farm it, to get it and use it. Boom. Boom. Evil rain. Evil on. Boom. Boom. It's a really good bow. I finally managed to get my longbow sharp shot maxed out to get the 300% multiplicative. And it's quite noticeable. It's just quite noticeable. I will highly recommend to do your circuits if you have the longbow sharp shot there. I will highly recommend farming for a longbow sharp shot if you like bows. It's a massive damage increase. Multiplicatives are so freaking nice to have, especially when you have so many layers of them, or use a multiplicative Warframe such as Mirage. Your damage is just going to skyrocket, and there is no diminishing returns in multiplicatives compared to the additives. It's disgusting. Look at the clear. I wish every bow had a really high stash chance, so I can have an easier time to proc blast procs. But every bow suffers from this. Doesn't have a really high base stash chance like the Paris Prime Incarnon. And I'm gambling like a really small percentage. Oh, there we go. Transform this. Boom. Boom. They also decide to give it infinite body punch too, so there is no purpose to using Prime Shred. There is a purpose to use it if you like the base form or the Incarnon form, but I don't believe there is any human being here that will say something like, I like the base form more than Incarnon. The difference between those two is so minor. It just, the Incarnon form is like 2 times stronger and has infinite body punch through and has a bigger projectile. Like more horizontal projectile. Look at this thing. It's nasty. Where's the Acolyte? I want to use it on him. Boom, boom. I lost my charges. Let me get that stuff back. Oh, there's the Acolyte. Perfect timing. I got my Incarnon. Let me use my third ability. I was degening really fast. Alright. Where is he? Hello? I did manage to shoot something. I don't know what did I shoot. There he is. 1, 2, 3 shots. With no buffs or armor strip. I think if I armor stripped him, maybe that would be a 1-tap. They do have a high DR from the armor. But as you can see, this thing is disgusting. It's disgusting. I think I've shown the weapon enough. Time for me to extract. And I'll be right back. The Paris Prime Incarnon is truly amazing. It truly is. It's quite nice. Infinite ammo, body punch through, high status, high crit, high critical damage, high base damage, guaranteed blast procs, which will help you with clear and single target. Everything is like a complement on the weapon. It isn't like the meta weapon, but it's a quite nice weapon to use. If you like bows, that's something of a high command for you to farm. Paris Prime Incarnon is just really, really good. It maybe isn't the greatest single target, but for clear-wise, having a really high status with blast procs and infinite body punch too, it just makes it amazing. I will even say it's better than Brahma. Brahma's problem is ammo economy, so you're going to use it a little bit and then you won't be able to use it because of the maximum ammo issues. This thing doesn't have ammo problems. It's really good. That's the weapon, that's the build. I hope you enjoy the build. Thank you yet again everybody for watching. Leave a like, sub, and of course, see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.